Hello guys, NautoAce here, and basically I want to give more thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. So, excuse me. So of course, finally, everybody, any Nintendo fan, video game fan, finally see the Nintendo Switch. So, is it good? Is it bad? I already talked about that, but there are more things that I want to give my thoughts on. And my hypothesis of what's going to happen in the future with the Nintendo Switch. So the first thing basically is third-party games. So of course, a lot of people are happy. Oh my God, there's a lot of third-party games on the graphics. Well, there was a graphic that showed who's the third party who's on board with the Nintendo Switch. That may be great, but the problem with that is that this, believe it or not, this actually happened before. They did this with the Wii U. I think to some extent to the Wii, that there was a lot of third-party developer, and they said, "Yeah, we're bored of this. We're on board of this console. We're behind this console. We're going to support this console." And then somewhere down the line, they had to reevaluate what's going on, and then what they end up with, it's not supporting the console. Case in point, in the Wii U, EA was, believe it or not, was on board with the Nintendo Wii U, believe it or not. And then all suddenly, when September 2012, when they revealed what the Wii U is, like more information, oh boy, EA basically, according to Patrick Levick, they even said, unfortunately, we're going to have to reevaluate our support with the Wii U. And that's already a bad sign. And of course, by, sad to say, February of 2013, basically, EA Sports stopped making games for the Nintendo Wii U. That was already the first third-party company, well, sort of, because it's part of EA, but EA Sports basically said, we will not make games on the Wii U because nobody was buying the Wii U. And then, of course, everybody knows that Ubisoft was the big supporter of the Wii U. But when they said that Watch Dogs was the final game, a hardcore game for the Wii U, there's something wrong there. So what I'm trying to say here is that, yeah, it's great that you see all those announcements, but let's see what happened when the Nintendo Switch come. Are third-party developer really gonna support it, or are they gonna reevaluate and say, well, you know what, we're gonna stick with PlayStation 4 or Xbox One? Probably PlayStation 4, but that's right now. There are more PlayStation 4 than Wii U on household who are gamers. So it's a wait-and-see situation. Again, it's great that there's a lot of them, but the problem is this been happened before. Like they're gonna say, yeah, we're backing up. We're supporting the console, a Nintendo console, and then down the line, they're going to say, well, because of the situation, they flip-flop. It sucks, but it's a business. There you go. Yeah, it's going to suck, but it is what it is. So, that's, again, just have to be cautious about it. It's great that they basically show that there are people backing up, but gotta see in the long run. So, but I think the Nintendo Switch is not going to be a problem than the Wii U. Alright, so the second thing is probably that, okay, so you say, oh my gosh, Nintendo has a gimmick again. Again, Nintendo with a gimmick. Again, just like the Wii with the Wiimote, the motion control. The Wii U with the second screen experience, the isometric gameplay, and the second screen experience. Of course, that didn't really work. And of course, the 3DS also had a gimmick, glasses-free 3D. Again, of course, to some extent, that didn't really work. Now you say, oh, what's a gimmick for the Nintendo Switch? Well, able to do different configuration on the console. Remember, the main source of the console is that tablet thing. That's the Nintendo Switch. The docking is called the Nintendo Switch docking. Again, but what it does, according to Nintendo, is that it helps you charge the tablet, but at the same time, somehow, it's supposed to give it more power. Okay, I'm going to assume makes it better when you put in a big screen TV. Okay, cool. And then, of course, what people like is that you're playing a console. Someone say, "Oh, you can't play your console because I'm watching TV." You finally go to the tablet. I mean, the Wii U kind of did it, but you're stuck in the same room. Not this time with the Nintendo Switch. But the question basically also here, I've been listening to some other people, and some people said, "Yeah, I just like the console. I just like a Nintendo console. I like with good games. I'm not probably going to use the tablet. I'm not going to use the Joy-Con. I'm probably going to buy a Joy-Con Pro and play it like it's supposed to be, like an NES, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube. Yeah, not so much with the Wii because of the motion control and Wii U. It had some problems. So for this one, basically, my hypothesis here is that there might be another version of the Switch. Like, wait, what do you mean? I'm gonna guess. I mean, if again, I might be wrong, but if in any chance, out of the Nintendo consumer, the Nintendo fans, I don't know about the general consumer yet, but the Nintendo fans basically said, "Well, I don't want to. I just want to play on big screen. Why do I want to play my Nintendo Switch? Why do I want to play it on a tablet or small screen? Oh, the Joy-Con controllers, uncomfortable. I prefer the Pro one because it reminds me of the 360 controller." I'm gonna guess that since Nintendo did say that the Nintendo Switch will not have a second screen experience, I get if you're playing Switch games. But if you're playing a Wii U game, well, they didn't really say the system is backwards compatible digitally. They did say that physically it's not backwards compatible, and I already talked about that hopefully they'll do an add-on, but that's a different story. I already talked about it. But in the case with digital, we'll have to see. But what if someone said, "I don't care about the tablet, I don't care about the Joy-Con controller, the docking. I just want to play my games. I just want to play with the Pro controller." So I'm gonna get there might be another version of this that might be on the works, and I'm just gonna make it. I'm gonna make this made-up title the Nintendo Switch Minus. Basically, it's a Nintendo console minus the Switch part. No tablet, no Joy-Con, just what it comes with the box are HDMI cable, power source. The console itself will not have a tablet. It'll be just it's probably, I'm going to assume, a small box. It's maybe the size of a Roku, maybe bigger, two Rokus. Maybe no docking, no tablet, no Joy-Con, and it comes with the Pro controller. Again, that probably the SKU is going to be meant for the Uber Nintendo fan hardcore gamer who basically just want to play console game. They don't want to use the tablet. They don't want to click it, with the Joy-Con. They just want turn on the console, play the game on the big screen. There you go. Again, I just might guess that they might do a Nintendo Switch Minus, and that's for the very, very hardcore. So they're probably not going to manufacture a lot of those. But for the Nintendo Switch, the regular one, that's probably going to be for the general consumer, casual gamer, who probably say, "Well, you know what? I want to play my console game, but I also want to watch TV at the same time. And I can't do it in my bedroom. Got to go to the living room, or vice versa." There you go. Just saying that. So I don't know. I don't even know if they're gonna do it. Again, it's just a hypothesis, and I'm just thinking about it. They might do, some backup. I don't know. So anyway, that's basically some of my prediction. I'm thinking about what's gonna happen with Nintendo Switch. They're probably gonna do another SKU, kind of like the 3DS and then the 2DS, which I got the idea with the 2DS. The name itself is confusing. Yes, people are confused. They said, "Are there any 2DS game?" Yeah, it's like a facepalm there. And I would probably said if they asked me what's a better name, I would probably call it 3DS minus rather than 2DS. At least people get it. It's a part of the 3DS family portable system minus the 3D. That's why 3DS minus. That's what I'm getting about Switch, like, Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch minus. Like, minus. And I don't know if in Japan minus is a bad word. Who knows? So anyway, that's my thought about like the test switch, my prediction, my hypothesis in the future, what's going to happen. Maybe new SKU. Who knows? So with that, thanks for listening. That's it for now. I'll see you guys later.